Grab some milk, chocolate, eggs, and sugar, and you are ready for this recipe. Welcome back to the channel. I am Karen, a pastry chef based in Jakarta, and today we are making this insanely delicious cloud-like chocolate mousse that you never knew you needed in your life, but you do. This can be made way ahead of time, so you can always have some stashed in your fridge for a dessert every day. Or if you're hosting a dinner party, this is the perfect dessert to make the night before, get it out of the way, so that frees up more time to cook the other menus.
There are three components to this mousse: the chocolate, the meringue, and the pâté bombe.
If you want to save washing up more bowls, then start whisking the egg whites first and then transferring that to another bowl, and then add in the yolks, and you can straight away use the mixer instead of putting in the yolks first and then you have to wash it and then use it for the whites and then wash it again, since if there is any yolk present, whites will never ever whip up properly. Comment down below if you hate washing as much as I do, and consciously try to use as little bowls as possible when baking. So white in here first, then the yolks.
In a small pot, add chocolate and milk and leave it over low heat. While that's heating up, prepare another pot with simmering hot water next to it. Finally, prepare another saucepan with sugar and water that will be used later on. If you do not have the luxury of starting with all three, then I suggest to start with melting the chocolate and milk first, then heating up the egg whites and making the meringue, finally cooking the sugar to add into the yolks. Heat up the egg whites and sugar until 60 degrees for a Swiss meringue.
Sugar starts dissolving at 40 degrees, so once you feel that happening, you are close to the finishing point. Keep stirring to prevent it from overcooking. You do not want some cooked egg whites in your meringue and makes it all smell fishy. No.
Once it reaches around 55 to 58 degrees, I usually take it off the heat and immediately start whipping at medium-high speed. While the egg whites are whipping up, let's check on the chocolate and milk. It should be almost melted, and you just need to give it a good stir and it will all come together. Once that's ready, set that aside to cool down until we are ready to use it. Once the egg whites start to almost reach stiff peaks, stop whisking and move it to a clean bowl. We will finish up the meringue by whisking it in the bowl occasionally while the egg yolks are being whipped up. Now the yolks can go in straight away, and start the mixer on low speed just to break the yolks apart. Start cooking the sugar until a soft ball stage. Since it is such a small content, it will overcook really easily. So once that's ready, immediately pour that hot syrup into the mixer and start whipping on high.
No matter how many times I've done this, it still freaks me out when I pour hot syrup into raw eggs. Like, it just makes me so nervous, but just trust the process and have a little faith and it will be fine.
While that's whipping up, don't forget to also stir your egg whites to prevent it from breaking apart and curdling. The yolks are rising nice and fluffy, and the meringue is also looking really smooth. Notice how I'm just mixing it really gently. So once the yolks reach this ribbon stage where you can ride on top of its surface, we are ready to fold. Take some yolk mixture and add it to the chocolate first,
This is like the golden rule for mixing mousses or generally folding any mixture together. You want the two mixtures that you're mixing together to be of the same consistency, so then you get the most efficient folding and you can retain as many air bubbles as possible. So that's why we are adding some yolk mixture to the heavy chocolate mixture first to lighten that, and then adding it back to the fluffy yolk mixture so then we can have the most efficient folding technique.
At this point, you can just roughly mix that chocolate mixture until it's a bit lightened up, and then we'll add it back to the yolks. Then gently fold it. Notice how I'm always rotating the bowl, scooping it from the center and all the way up, also making sure to clean all the sides. Once that's 50% folded, add in the egg whites and do the same folding technique. To explain more clearly, I will demonstrate with a clear bowl. So use the sharp edge of the spatula, not the curved edge, the sharp edge. Look at the bowl and take it as if it is a clock. So that's 3, that's 9, and 6 is nearest to you. Starting from the center of the bowl, put your sharp edge of the spatula down with a bit of pressure so it kind of scoops. Bring it down to the 6 p.m. until over the 9 p.m. and fold it up over. Yeah. Then rotate the bowl and repeat the same process. All the way down and all the way up. Always remember to rotate that bowl. After a couple of folds, your mousse should come together into this beautiful mixture. Pour them into your prepared molds, and in this case I'm using some ramekins. Scrape off the excess layer so you get a really neat look. Clean off the edges as well. Finally, give it a good tap to get rid of any air bubbles, and this will go in the refrigerator for 6 hours or overnight. I prefer it to stay longer as the flavors develop way better. And you can get a sneaky bite.
The waiting is the longest part, but I promise you that your patience will pay off. Just wait, okay? Once it's set and firm, I topped it up with some whipped cream, cocoa powder, crumble, and flaky sea salt, but this is completely optional. Okay, I'm gonna dig in. Have a go at it and then comment and agree that it really is worth the wait. Or just like this video if it makes you salivate. Subscribe if you want to see more of me, and I'll see you in the next one.